Hi, you guys, and welcome back to Briefly Trending. Today, we're going to talk about The Bachelor. Now, if you don't know what The Bachelor is, it's basically a dating show on ABC where basically the contestants fight for the love of the Bachelor. And hopefully that leads to the Bachelor and a contestant getting engaged and later on down the line getting married. But as we all know, usually that does not happen. Usually they don't make it down the aisle, but we'll see. Now, this season, The Bachelor is Peter. Now, Peter was in Hannah's season of The Bachelorette. He was a very nice guy. He is a very nice guy. He's very cute. He's also a pilot, and he kind of reminds me a little bit of Ben, the other Bachelor. Now, we are all on episode 3 of The Bachelor, and in this episode, there was a little drama between two contestants. Now, there was a contestant by the name of Sydney and another contestant by the name of, I believe her name is Alicia. If I am pronouncing it wrong or saying it wrong, you know what I mean. But yeah, we're going to call her Alicia. So Sydney feels like Alicia is basically putting on for the cameras or acting different when the cameras come around. Now, Sydney ends up pulling Peter to the side and she explains to him that she feels like Alicia acts different when the cameras are around, and she feels like Alicia is not being herself when the cameras are around, and she turns on her personality a little more or a lot more when the cameras are around. So Peter then the next day, I believe they have like a pool party, and Peter ends up pulling some of the other contestants to the side and asking them about Alicia. And most of the contestants said, yeah, she does change a little bit when the cameras are around. And there was another contestant who said like her voice gets higher and all of these things. Now, spoiler alert, Peter ends up sending Alicia home. Now, in the preview, you see that Alicia does return, but I'm not sure if it's to rejoin the cast or if it's just for that one episode, but we'll find out. But also in this preview, there's a contestant by the name of Victoria. Now, in the preview, Victoria and Peter go to this country concert for a date. Or this, I don't know if it's a concert or if it's just like this little thing. I don't know. But it's their date, and you can see that Victoria looks uncomfortable. Like it's all over her face that something is wrong. So a little later on in the preview, you see that Victoria basically says to Peter, listen, I used to date the country singer by the name of Chase Rice. Now, that's the country singer that was singing during their date. And, I was like, wow, this is interesting. Let me see if she's still with this country singer or what's going on. So I get onto the Google and I type in her name and I'm like, okay, let's see. And before I could get to her Instagram, these stories popped up. Now, I was shocked because they were negative. And she just seemed like a very sweet girl. But I'm only going to talk about the story that I could visibly see. So the story that I'm talking about is the one where she was allegedly modeling for WLM. Now, if you don't know what WLM stands for, in this case, it stands for White Lives Matter. Now, if you don't know why that is extremely offensive, please go look up Black Lives Matter and all that it stands for. And then you will understand why this is extremely offensive. But anyway, she is allegedly modeling merchandise for these people or for this brand. Now, I was shocked because, one, I didn't expect her to model for something like that. Two, because ABC either didn't know or they didn't care. And I don't understand I don't know the process of, them saying, okay, you're going to be on The Bachelor. I don't know the process. So maybe they didn't think people would see it, but people grabbed screenshots of it before the website or the page was taken down. I don't know if the website is taken down, but I think their Instagram or something was taken down. So, but people grabbed screenshots of it. And when I say I was shocked, that I really was like, wow. Because in episode 2, you see a little bit more of who I thought Victoria was, which was this sweet girl who was shy and, who didn't really seem sure of herself. Now, in the episode 2, which is what I'm talking about, there was like this, date that they went on where they were on the runway with. Like, they had to walk the runway. And, in this episode, she was saying, how she didn't stand out and how she was shy and how she felt uncomfortable. And, she walked down the runway and she opened her robe or her jacket and she had a little cute little thing underneath. And then she even pulled Peter on stage and she kissed him. And I was like, okay, this is a different side. This is a different side. Maybe she does have confidence. Okay. I was like, okay, yes, Victoria. But, it was just shocking to see her allegedly model for these people, because as I said before, she seems so sweet and shy, because she even pulled Peter to the side in that same episode and she broke down and she said, I don't think I'm going to stand out, and I don't know if this is a life for me. And she was crying, and I felt bad for her. I was rooting for Victoria. I really was rooting for her. I was like, yes, Victoria, you got this. You can do this. We're all rooting for Victoria. Victoria, we were all rooting for you. I was rooting for you. We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you, Victoria. Tyra Banks voice. We all were. What happened? But anyway, she did the shoot, and there are some people who feel like, myself included, who feel like this is not okay. Now, there are people who left comments basically saying, Victoria modeled for White Lives Matter clothing brand. She gotta go. # The Bachelor. Someone else wrote, nah, Victoria Fuller is also a model, except her niche is racism. Someone else wrote, seemed very confident during this shoot. Now, allegedly, this brand was trying to support fish or something, because I don't know, like, they're trying to support fish or something like that. And they're saying, like, there is a picture on there where it's basically, a Confederate flag, and then there's another picture where it says White Lives Matter, but there's a Confederate flag, but instead of like the stars on the Confederate flag, it basically has these fish on the Confederate flag. I don't care what you put on the Confederate flag. I don't care if you put circles, rainbows, lilies, flowers, pumpkins. It doesn't matter. It's still offensive because it's the Confederate flag. So I don't care what they put on there. But anyway, it's offensive. But anyway, as I said before, just seeing her the last episode, I was just shocked, because as I said before, she seemed so sweet and kind and loving, and she just seemed like a very good girl. But I don't know anymore. You just never know, because I was shocked. When I say I was shocked with a T, I was shocked with a T. My mind was so, because I thought she was really this beautiful, kind, loving young girl. But, I don't know. I really don't know. But she hasn't made a comment on this situation, but she had time, or she found time to comment on the other things that were attached to her name, but not this. I don't know, you guys. Who knows? Maybe she'll comment and let us know, like, why she did this. Maybe she'll issue an apology or send out an apology. I don't know what she's going to do, but we'll have to wait and see. But when I say I was shocked, I really was. Anyway, like, comment, and subscribe, and tell me what you think of this situation. I've told you my opinion on it, but again, as I said before, let's see what she has to say, and then we can go from there. But that's all for today, you guys. Thank you all for listening. Until next time.